Got a question from our 28-year-old friend Greg, who lives in Holland. He basically says, my wife, or my girlfriend of 7.5 years, is 18 weeks pregnant. I love her with all my life and I'm excited to be a dad. The reason for the message is for the following. I work as a stockroom assistant at a clothing company, but my dream is to become a strength and conditioning coach. At work, things aren't going really well. The company's kind of falling apart, people getting laid off. But he has an opportunity now where if he decides to take a new position in the job, his job might be saved. But in doing so, he feels as if he's cutting off any opportunity to live his dream of eventually becoming a strength and conditioning coach, because now he's taking a more stable, safe, secure situation in the job at the same time that his girlfriend is pregnant. And not only that, chances are she won't be able to have work, so he's going to be the sole provider. Do I pursue my dream, or do I take the practical, pragmatic, respectable route of safety and security, especially considering that I'm now responsible for my girlfriend, whom I love deeply, and my child, who I'm excited is coming into the world? Look, dude, you know what I'm going to say. But I'm going to be a bit more pragmatic with my advice here today and support you with ideas that have supported me in the same exact circumstance. I moved to Florida and worked as a personal trainer in a gym, doing something that I felt I needed to do in order to get on my feet when I moved from New York to here. Ultimately realizing that I was going to start my own business as a strength and conditioning coach. My wife had our first baby, Isabel. Isabel was about 4 months old when we moved down here. We had to live with my parents. I knew I didn't want to live with my parents forever. I knew I couldn't live on personal training salary forever, and I didn't want to work for someone else forever. My wife also got pregnant within the mix of all this. So my second was on the way, and this was probably about 2 years later, but mind you, these things don't happen quickly. And I quit working at my job and started building my business with absolutely no idea, no safety and security, no idea how I was going to do it. I had no health insurance, and we didn't have Obamacare and shit like that back then. Had no clients because they all left me. I thought they would come with me, but they didn't. I had one client came with me, and half the money that he gave me I bought a laptop with. And so today tells the history. I bought a laptop because I knew that the computer was going to be a big part of what I would ultimately, my efforts would bear fruits. I had a mortgage. This is how crazy I was. I went out and got a mortgage also. So I've got my wife, a baby. At some point, a new baby was on the way, and a mortgage, no job, and I'm trying to build a business with no fucking clue what I'm doing. So I tell you this so that you know that I was in the same circumstances. You're 28, I was about 25, 26. Same exact situation, buddy, pretty much. I thicken the pot a little bit by making it a little bit more dangerous because I fucking thrive on danger. But we're the same in that way. Here's what I did that made it so that you can watch me here today and support you in growing stronger in your endeavors. Take notes. These are the things that I share through these videos, but I'm giving it to you to support you in the exact circumstances that I was in and how I use them. Meditate. Number 1. I could not be where I am today if I did not begin meditating. And I teach you so many different forms of meditation through these videos that you can just choose one. My ideas about meditation have evolved from that one point. But at that particular point, the meditation method that I used was called Holosync. I mentioned this in videos on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever, on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I mentioned Holosync. Look it up. Centerport Technology. It's audios you listen to. Holosync, or meditation, that form of meditation that I began with, saved my ability, supported me and strengthened me in order to be able to overcome the challenges that I saw on my way to the success that you might call it that I have today. Meditate, my friend. I know it sounds crazy. Who has time? I'm working my ass off. I'm struggling here, scratching and clawing my way. Hungry. Meditate, Elliot? Hey, all I can offer you is my experience. And if I didn't meditate, I know I wouldn't have the wherewithal to make the choices that I made to get where I'm at. Affirmation and visualization. It's what I did. It's not because I saw The Secret. It's not because I read a book. I didn't go to a fancy course or seminar. A friend invited me to do it. I didn't know anything about it, but he said, hey, try this. Visualize what you would want to have happen. Fucking crazy. My life today is a direct manifestation, almost identical to the visualizations that I used 10 years ago when I was ass out. I literally live in the neighborhood that I visualized. I have a gym the way I have. You know what? I picked up one of my books the other day that contain many of my affirmations and goals that I wrote out before I even embarked on this journey. And you know what it said? Mind you, there's no YouTube back then. I'm going to support the lives of millions of young men throughout the world in, I don't remember the language I used, but becoming the strongest version of themselves. The way I visualized it back then was me standing in a stadium, speaking this way to thousands at once. Little did I know I'd be doing it, but through videos on YouTube. That's why you don't get attached to the visualization. You don't get attached to the goal. You get attached to the direction and the feeling, and you go with it. Visualize, meditate, affirm constantly. I created a set of about 10 affirmations that I would say to myself, and I would visualize while I'm saying it to myself every hour on the hour. I had a watch that went dee-dee-dee-dee-dee every hour. And I would stop whatever I'm doing. And if I was busy doing something that I couldn't stop, I'd do it as soon as I was done. And I would stop and I'd visualize. And I'd affirm, I'd say the words and feel the excitement of the words. I'd use a system of neural linking, neural reprogramming to brainwash myself for success. And also, I studied marketing. So many people think they want to be entrepreneurs, business owners, and successful, but they're afraid to study marketing. They're afraid to study sales. They think there's something evil or bad about it. My friends, study marketing because it is your tool by which you serve the world. I talk to you because I study marketing, because I realize I've got to build up goodwill with a significant portion of the population within my niche that know, like, and trust me. Every one of these videos is a form of marketing. Just be practical about it. Do you see? I can see it that way, objectively. A good artist never falls in love with his art. He sees it for what it is. Study marketing, study sales. In particular, I would study Dan Kennedy and his form of direct response marketing. The guy is a genius, and most of my greatest ideas come from his work. And then, finally, keep going. As dark as it gets, keep going. As difficult as it gets, as much as it seems as if the world is crumbling down around you and there's no way out, keep fucking going. Use the motivation from the love that you have for your woman and your baby on the way. You can't stop because of them. See, most people stop because of them. They don't get it. They quit. They quit reaching for their dreams because of their family. You spin it around and use them to keep going. Do you see the difference there? Most people think that safety and security is some sort of magical heaven that they can land in if only they got that job and the regular paycheck. Do you see how unstable that actually is? Because companies come and go, rise and collapse, people get laid off, and your life was always in another man's hands. The most stable thing that a man can do is to listen to his heart and to follow it. Done.